In response to the COVID-19 pandemic and its crippling impact on the hospitality and tourism industry, Fulch Ireland has developed a suite of tools to help businesses across the country chart a route to sustainable trading in the post-COVID-19 environment. This video shows you how to use the Capacity Commercial Impact Calculator developed for restaurants, cafes, bars and gastrobars. Its purpose is to help you assess the effect of social distancing requirements on your business and the opportunities that may exist through offering new services or adopting different ways of working to maximize revenues and improve efficiency during what is expected to be a very challenging period for the industry. Ideally, you will use the calculator in advance of reopening to test expected performance and whether it can generate a surplus, but it is also a useful tool to assess ongoing performance after the recommencement of trading, as the marketplace is likely to be in a state of flux for some time. The general format considers expected performance in your business on a day-to-day basis and by week-to-week for up to a 4-week period in any month, although you do not need to enter information for the full 4-week period. The calculator does not start on the first day of the month. Rather, it looks at time periods in blocks of weeks commencing on a Monday. The calculator is comprised of an Excel spreadsheet with a number of separate tabs or working sheets, each suited to businesses using lower or high levels of management information, or where the emphasis on trading may be in food sales or beverage sales. You need only use those sheets that are relevant to your business. The principles underlying their use is common to all, so this video will show you what information you need to enter into individual tabs and the outputs you can expect. The calculator is supported by guidance notes on how to use it and guidance notes on how to optimize your business operations. Within each sheet, there are helpful instructions and explanations which are embedded within cells which show a small red triangle in the upper right-hand corner. Rolling the pointer over the cell automatically opens the comment box. I will start by looking at the primary spreadsheet within the calculator. There are two versions of the sheet called Standard Calc and Detailed Calc. Both have the same objective, which is to help you test whether or not you can be profitable when you're open for trade and to help you identify opportunities to improve performance. The difference between the two tabs is the level of information required to be entered in each. The Standard Calc is best used by smaller businesses such as cafes, smaller restaurants, and small pubs where trading information and key performance indicators used by management and owners may be tightly focused on 4 or 5 key metrics. So this is where I will start. The cells highlighted in orange color are those that require you to enter data. To start, enter the month that you want to produce trading projections for by making your selection from the drop-down menu. Next, enter information from a typical trading month prior to lockdown in this area of the sheet. This may be used to apply ratios to your trading estimates if other information required is not entered in full. Now, in this area of the tab, provide an estimate of income on a daily basis for sit-in or takeaway food and beverage sales, or an average spend per cover. If you enter an average spend per cover, you must also enter the expected number of covers in each day in this area of the sheet. Otherwise, the calculator will not work. As you're unlikely to have details on the number of beverage-only customers served on your premises, the sheet needs you to enter an estimate for beverage-only revenue here. Now, enter cost of sales ratios and expected weekly fixed costs here. That's as much information as you need to enter under this tab, and indeed these inputs will be replicated in subsequent weeks unless overridden by you. Summary trading results are shown by day and by week in this highlighted area of the sheet, with KPIs to the right-hand side. The summary is supported by a detailed analysis below of all service types. This will allow you to assess which service types offer the best level of profit or which incur a loss, and whether there are opportunities to reduce the cost of or your reliance on less profitable options. You can also reassess the cost of delivery of each service type and what the impact of a price increase will be by changing the spend per cover. For those businesses that are larger or which have more detailed management information available to them, then using the Detailed Calc tab will be the better option. This sheet is broken into 3 time periods, these being breakfast, lunch, and dinner or evening service. If you do not offer breakfast, then ignore that section. Start your data entry by choosing from the drop-down menu the month that you are preparing projections for. For breakfast or morning service, if you offer it, enter the projected number of guests or customers using each of the services on offer here. Now enter the average spend for food and beverage. Alternatively, you can simply enter the projected revenue for each day by customer type in this section of the sheet. Scroll down the page to enter the same data for lunch, afternoon trading, and dinner, evening trading. The next action is to enter payroll costs, and there are two methods for doing so. Ideally, you should enter the number of employee hours per day by staff category or rate of pay in this section of the sheet. This information should be entered separately for each of breakfast, lunch, and dinner service. You must match hourly rates of pay with the appropriate PRSI rate and enter both in the relevant columns. There is no need to enter every staff grade. Alternatively, you can enter a single payroll cost for each day, but remember to include PRSI and an 8% allowance for holiday pay when doing so. However, if you choose this option, the outputs will be less accurate than entering staff hours and rates of pay for breakfast, lunch, and dinner periods of service. Now, scroll down towards the bottom of the sheet where you must enter cost of sales percentage for breakfast, lunch, and dinner service in these cells. The entries will automatically be carried forward to subsequent weeks, although you can override them if you choose to do so. Finally, enter other weekly expenses not included within your cost of sales percentage entries. And that's the end of the data required for week 1. Your data input for subsequent weeks will be less because the spreadsheet automatically carries average spend, cost of sale percentages, rates of pay, and so on into weeks 2, 3, and 4. The output from your data entry is summarized in the cells highlighted. Detailed analysis of income and cost by service period for breakfast, lunch, and for dinner is shown below the summary. The benefit of entering the number of covers and payroll cost information by service period is that the spreadsheet will help you decide whether or not each service period and customer type is profitable. If you find that you're projecting a loss for the week or a particular service period, you should consider abandoning those service types that do not make money and concentrating on those with the highest level of profit. Other measures you can take to mitigate any loss or low profit levels include a review of staffing levels, the revamping of menus to concentrate on higher margin dishes, the increasing of prices, or any other opportunities that there are to reduce your operating costs. If you choose to enter, say, 1 week's information in the sheet, the calculator will automatically prorate your entries to give an overall total for the full month. The results are shown here. For the corresponding month in the previous year, you can enter actual revenue, payroll costs, and departmental profit in the highlighted section, and the sheet will calculate the expected year-on-year change in these metrics in absolute and in percentage terms. An important opportunity for you could be the introduction of new product or service offers to augment the income from your traditional services, but which have been compromised because of the social distancing measures. Included within this calculator are 3 option spreadsheets named Option 1, Option 2, and Option 3. These allow you to test the viability of offering new service lines that you may be considering. Each spreadsheet is laid out and requires the same data input, so I will concentrate on using the Option 1 tab for demonstration purposes. Again, where a cell contains a red triangle in the top right-hand corner, there is a description or guidance text within that cell, which can be activated by running the pointer over the cell. In this example, we will assume that we are planning to offer breakfast service for the first time. You can name the sheet by entering text here. Now, think about one-off startup costs you are likely to incur, such as pre-opening marketing, the production of menus, items of equipment, and perhaps even training and so on, and enter the description and expected costs here. Next, enter your expected sales prices here and your expected cost of sales ratios and other operating costs here. In some cases, you have the option of entering the cost in value terms rather than as a percentage of turnover. You decide which way it works best for you. Now enter the expected number of covers or customers here. Where you're considering a new service line, it is best to prepare projections for a number of months to allow for the ramp up in business demand, since it is quite possible that you could incur a loss in the first couple of weeks of trading before moving into profit. That's the extent of the data entry. Now let's look at the outputs. Taking a look at week 1, a summary of your trading projections is shown in the highlighted section. In this example, introducing the breakfast service is expected to generate a loss in week 1 of trading. In such a scenario, the sheet will automatically calculate the increase in turnover required to at least break even. Where the projection suggests that the new service will generate a profit, it also provides an estimate for each of the 4 weeks that you can enter data of the remaining weeks required to recover your startup costs. In this example, the service is expected to generate a small profit in week 2, in which case it expects startup costs to be recovered in approximately 9 more weeks. For those sheets or tabs that you do use, the results of your data entry feed into the overall summary tab, which draws together all of the results for each revenue generating activity and the services that you're considering introducing, and shows a level of departmental profit or loss by week. It will show the impact of any additional services or product you may be planning to offer. The summary tab also provides an estimate of income and profit for the full month for your current activities. If you enter the corresponding results for the same month in 2019 in the highlighted section, the sheet will then calculate the year-on-year change by revenue type in absolute and in percentage terms. This can be used to populate the restaurants, bars and cafes P&L Excel template, which can be downloaded from the Fulch Ireland website together with the accompanying video. This concludes this video on the use of the restaurants, cafes, bars and gastrobars capacity commercial impact calculator. The calculator template, notes on how to use it and ideas to optimize your operation can be found on the Fulch Ireland website. Once you have used it a couple of times, data entry should become second nature. Remember, you have the choice to use the standard or the detail tab, which means that data entry requirements will suit any size or complexity of business. Remember too that it is simply a tool to help you make informed decisions about your business in advance of reopening and as you start finding your feet in these extremely difficult times. I wish you well.